I'm a huge fan of Kevin Penkin. Really excited to see Kevin's work being contributed to League of Legends. This is Here Tomorrow featuring Lilas and Kevin Penkin, The Spirit Blossom Beyond 2025 Season 2 Cinematic. Let's check it out. You know, it ends up. Wow. First of all, that's rapturing. I almost didn't want to stop, but I did because, well, I think that this is actually extremely poetic and extremely beautiful, and there's a lot of subtlety in it. Actually, it's more of a prayer, like a moment of reflection, a moment of exploration of like what it means to be connected to, you know, life, to nature, to the world around us, and what I find really interesting is there's a natural buildup throughout the whole piece, which was normal. This is a normal occurrence, obviously, for a buildup to happen within the first minute of a piece to kind of go somewhere and kind of take off. But what I found really interesting is the prayer-like elements of it. Da, da, ya, da, 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 da. That feels more conversational than anything else because it doesn't necessarily have a peak or it doesn't go up in very high pitches. It tends to stay really contained. Da, da, ya, da, 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 da. Obviously, I'm approaching that from an operatic style versus this, which is very pure. The Lila sound is very innocent. It has a purity in it. It's very pared back. There's not a lot of vibrato. It's not based around trying to produce the most amount of volume. It's about really digging inward and coming out with this introspection that's really apparent. Now, also too, what's really cool is that we have this natural orchestral buildup where we have some doubling that's occurring there to support Lilas, but in general, there's a lot of movement and a lot of arpeggiation. I'd like to go back just a little bit to this little corner right here. First of all, visually, obviously, it's stunning. I don't have to tell you that. I don't really know who any of these people are or what the characters are, but check this out. Super ethereal. So even this whole like opening couple seconds is all very ethereal. There's a lot of ethereal. There's a lot of vibrato. There's a lot of a presence in the sound of space, of twinkling, of twilight, of almost like a resonance. And then as we shift into reality, with the imagery, with the lotus flower sort of shifting out into this openness, you hear. You see that? That's really cool. So we have this lower, I don't know if you noticed it, but we have this lower a support system that comes through in the bass. Ba 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 ba. And what that does is that sets up the singing so that they're in the same pitch. That's the same pitch, but just octaves lower. And what that ends up doing is supporting the singer, who's essentially subdividing da 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 in her own rhythmic movement, while we have the stable quality in the bass that is supporting this musical phrasing to kind of buoy the singing, which is really beautiful. There too we have it. But we also have the piano twinkling as sort of this ambient quality. Da, da, da. Now we have this build-up. And it's cool because if you listen here, you actually get a natural buildup, and we get a momentum of piano and string as it kind of is building to something in that first big climax. Check this out. But that's genius, because what we end up getting is we end up getting percussion. Number one, we get the percussion that kind of moves us forward, and then the string or the piano underneath, I can't recall, it takes over that sort of subdivided rhythmic movement. And then on top of that, we have this lovely, exceptional vocalese, just vowels. It's fairly rhythmic, but the vocals make it so that it's legato. And legato means everything is connected. Legato, it's Italian. Legare is to connect, right? And so even though we have rhythm, ba da ba 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 ba, what we end up getting is and so there's a through line, a thread that's connecting that. It's very peaceful and stunning. Let's fast forward and continue on. Now it's actually even more emphasis in that support system in the bass, which is dope. It's like doubled. Stunning visuals though, wow. Now there's even more happening underneath too. Choreo, harmony. Oh my, yes, that's good. Nice doubling in the strings. That ba 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 ba. My God, it's so beautiful. Wow, nice. Nice little echo in the back. That's so dope. So well done. It's emotional. It moves us. You feel it, the vibrations in your skin and in your spirit. Holy shit. Wow. Beautiful upper harmony there, yeah? That's gorgeous. And the thing is that there's like an inherent power in that. So it's cool because this piece actually, even though it's a pretty sizable climax vocally, it's cool because we have this big peak, it dies down, then we have a double peak where we really send home the driven idea that this person is powerful and capable and strong, and moreover, what I really like about it is that it still has that strong vocal without being like belted. It's very still dialed back. It's still kind of intimate, and I think that really lends itself to the idea that this character is soft, and even though this character is strong, there's always going to be a soft quality in the fact that the character needs to accomplish things and take care of things and fight and battle and do all the typical stuff that we see. But there's still that sense of vulnerability through the voice being presented in the way that it is, right? The harmonies, the echoes, these things add the layers of pizzazz, of spice to showcase the three-dimensionality, but the core of it is still always that Lilas singing, which is very rooted and very dulcet and gentle and simple and elegant, right? Now, Kevin's composition here is very full, very rich. Dynamically, obviously, it gets quite large. That's where the sense of power comes from. Not so much in the singing, but in the presentation musically. We get tons of instruments kind of doing their thing. It feels like a circle, like the circle around my head right now. That's the kind of sound that gets created from this. And it's very ethereal and very deep, because it's interesting how music, it's interesting. Singing can be very light, very, very surface level, right? And most people are really paying attention to that innocence, that gentility, that power that comes in the upper register, and that harmony, especially when we're doubling in the voice, creating that harmony, moving with the main sound. But the depth of the well comes from the composition, comes from the orchestration, comes from the dynamics of shifting towards strong crescendi and growing. And that's really apparent. I mean, we're going to listen to it again because it's freaking gorgeous. Also here too, I'm going to talk over it while we hear it. This has got some like terrific Imogen Heap type of real crunchy harmony. It's very tight, and it gives way to again, like looking at the mask, this ethereal sort of soulful presence. There's a sense of spirit, a sense of power, and then we ramp up. Check this out. That's incredible. Boom, da, right? There's a huge smack, and then we're thrust into this inward battle in the subconscious of this awakening. Again, with the vowels being the thing that guides it. I mean, it's really profoundly cool. I mean, let's listen to that again because it's dope. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Also, I'm sorry to stop at the wonderful climax, but also what's really cool is how crisp "the wind is calling my name." That's very crisp. The wind is calling my name. That's important. It's not "the wind is calling my name." Do you feel how like "the wind is calling my name"? That's different than the vocalese with the vowels that we heard earlier, right? That's sharp. That's sharp because the wind is calling her name. And there's a crispness and in a matter-of-factness in shortening the words based on the text. The wind is calling my name. It's very rhythmic. Dope as hell.
I whisper all the souls who never leave me. Collect your silver tears.
But that's dialed back. Collect your ba-ba-ba. Right, that's dialed back. That's saying after all that, collect your ba-ba-ba. It's much more tender. It's dope. Man, what a sick piece.
Pray I reappear tomorrow.
She's some sort of deity, some sort of goddess. Love these lotus flowers. I love this. We go back to what we heard at the very beginning. Beautiful. Holy hell. Spirit Blossom Beyond Season 2. Yeah, man, that's astoundingly beautiful. And honestly, I'm kind of excited because I rarely, if ever, get to feature Kevin Penkin on the channel because of how much anime that Kevin works on. So to be able to sneak in here and get some like legit, a sound that we would hear in an anime, it's the Kevin is an astounding it's actually crazy how there are so many good composers in games, but thank you guys, I appreciate it, and I'll see you later.